Hello, welcome to my podcast, Vloggypod, we'll come to that later. My name is Cherie, I am an indie yarn dyer and maker, really. I live in the southwest of the UK, in Devon. And I said, I was going to do this every week, so sorry I didn't do one last week, but I've had such a busy week because we were sending out, we're going on holiday, I'm just about to go on holiday, literally. My husband's back in the car, and we had to get out a sock club in the Countryside Sock Club and the Autumn Celebration box to people who ordered outside of the UK. So it's been a super busy week. So the vlog that you see at the end, I shouldn't think there'll be very much at all from this week because I couldn't show anything because it's all secret squirrel. But anyway, I just wanted to come on and do this quickly because I wanted to, I've said that twice, wanted to announce the winner because did say I would do that last week. But anyway, and the other thing I wanted to do is just show you a couple of things that I picked up over the last week. So you actually see in the vlog that I went to our local town Charter Day, which is celebrating when it got the Royal Charter, and there were lots and lots of stalls, and I just picked this up, which I loved. I thought I would show you. Look. So that is lovely. I had to have that. And that is made by somebody. It was a lovely couple. They came from Barnstaple, which is in North Devon. And she popped me in a little fridge magnet as well. Look at that. And Annie, busy pottering, if you by any chance watching, she had some cracking hedgehogs. So I mention this because I will put on the screen their shop. I think they were saying they're on Folksy, they're not on Etsy. But they make lovely little things, so I'll definitely be visiting her little shop. But I think it's Dos Rogers is her name. But anyway, I'll put it on the screen, but how lovely is that? I love finding things like that when I go. That was £5, by the way. When I go, I mean, she made, look at the detail in that. I think she's underselling that. I love to buy things like that I find in little stores, so I just thought I would show you that and mention them because they deserve to do well, I think. They're just lovely. I'm actually not, normally I would be showing you things that I'm making or planning, but literally it's packed because, I'll show you my books I'm taking in a minute. I probably won't touch half the things I'm taking, but I've got my painting things, I've got my nature journal, I've got knitting, I've got crochet, I've got sewing, embroidery. So I've got nothing to show you. But I'll be honest, I haven't done anything over the last week, so I've just been so tired at the end of the day, I haven't had time to do anything. But plans, very, very excited about this. So lovely Sandra Cherry Heart, I'm sure you would have seen, is doing what's it called? Nature's Walk. Squinting away, just a minute, I've got it written down here. Is it Nature's Walk? Yeah, Nature's Walk crochet along, which I'm definitely doing. I don't tend to do many knit alongs or crochet along. One, because as I said before, I'm pretty slow. And I've always got other things that I'm doing that I know I should finish, but cannot resist it. So I'm sure you know, you've seen, but go and have a look. She's doing this amazing blanket, which is was inspired by walks that she took with her little dachshund. Is it Bertie? And I watched it this morning. She's just put out a short half-an-hour little podcast explaining all about the crochet along. And you can order. It's a free pattern, and you can use your own yarns. But I cannot resist. She's got, I think it's Wild Hedgerow, the colourway that I'm going to get. So I'm going to order that, and hopefully. Sorry, my brain's ticking. I'm just trying to think whether it will turn up when I'm away or not. Anyway, I'll think about that. But that's something I'm going to do, and I'm taking my granny strap blanket away with me. I've got about 6 minis, so that should be at least 6 to 10 rows. I'm also filming this on a new camera that I've got, so I'm not quite sure how this is all going to be, which was completely irrelevant for you to know that. Anyway, so I'm going on my holiday, and as I said, I have all these things I have to take. I'll show you some of the books I've got. I can't bring myself to take, this is what a nut bar I am, my Persephone books, because I'll be taking them onto the beach and I don't want them to get damaged, so it would be the perfect time to take them, but I'm not. Anyway, I'm taking this one, and because this is the one with Sanditon, yeah, this has got Sanditon on it, and I've never read Sanditon actually, so I'm looking forward to reading that. So that, well, but we'll see. That one's on the list. This one, which was one my gorgeous glamorous friend Nikki at the cottage bought me and sent me. The summer book was just at the end of summer, going into autumn, so I thought that might be nice. And I've only read the first 2 pages, it's really good. This one, which I found in my, I don't know if that's focusing, I can't tell. This is a bit weird because I haven't got my glasses on, so this is all a bit of a blur anyway, so I'm hoping that you can see that. But I don't, this is kind of a beach read, Song of the Skylark. I think I picked this up in the supermarket last year, I haven't read that. And then this one, this is in a little book cover sort of thing that I made. This is, oh, The Essex Serpent, which I've had for over a year now, about a year and a half. I haven't read that. So I read the first couple of pages this morning, and the reviews on this are really mixed. Some people love it and some people just can't get into it. I read the first 2 or 3 pages this morning, so I might take that one. And then this one, which my daughter-in-law, oh, I'm trying to get my face out of the way, bought for me. It still gives me a buzz saying daughter-in-law. Actually, she didn't buy it for me, she lent it to me. They're actually in India at the moment, so my son and his wife Amy have just gone off just last Sunday, left for to do some travelling, something they've wanted to do for a while. Lots of tears. I think it's just the thought that they're so far away. It's not that I see them every week because they live in London, we live in Devon, but I just think it's the thought they're so far away. But they're in India, they're in Rajasthan for, oh, a suitable boy. I could take a suitable boy, couldn't I? Oh, I love that book. They're in Rajasthan, which is in northern India, and they've just done camel rides and sunrise on the dunes and things like that. But then they're going to base camp Everest and things like that, so I'm totally stressed by that. But anyway, Amy recommended this book to me. So I have got 5 books there. I'm only away for a week, so my husband's not going to let me take all of those anyway because we haven't really got room. There's me saying, can't take that, and I've got all of this lot. I don't know where that voice came from. So I'm not quite sure. Looking at this one quickly, actually, a lady who I haven't replied to yet, but I have read all the messages that you send me. A lady the other day, can't remember your name, so sorry, and I will reply to you because I've been thinking about it a lot, but she was asking me what classics, she's saying she hasn't read any classics, and she said, what would I recommend? And I've been thinking about this a lot, that she wanted to read with her daughter, who I think she was about 13 or 14, I think she said. And I was just thinking, what would I recommend? I mean, something like, I think the first ever classical literature I read was probably, I think it was Jane Austen. I think it was Pride and Prejudice, actually. And when I did my degree is in literature, and I'm sort of halfway through a master's in it, which is, I'm taking a break from that at the moment. But one of the things that we studied was what the literary canon, you know, this block of books that make up the must-reads and things like that, which, whilst I agree with that, there are things that I think do make that list. I also think there's a lot, I don't know, going off on one now, talking about snobbery in literature, but I think there is snobbery in literature. But anyway, the problem with the classics is I think a lot of people think perhaps they're boring, perhaps they're not easy reads, which is not true. Well, I don't think, it's true of some books, but then it's true of some modern books, isn't it? But anyway, what's a classic? What defines a classic? And what would you recommend for this lady to read with her daughter? Because I think Jane Austen's a pretty good place to start. Anyway, or David Copperfield, something like that. Anyway, so I've got to get those down to one. Got another book here, which again, far too big to take, but I'll just show you this one. That's not focusing, is it focusing? It's because I'm in the way. There we are. British birds in their haunts. So this, I'll find you a page where I'm sighing blissfully. Look at that inside, and this is really old. I think it's 1935. But the problem is, I pick some of these books up, and the nature ones, I mean, just look at that. The nature ones that I've got, which is nature diaries, I am reading a little bit every day, but how would you tackle something like that? So I just thought it'd be lovely to just sit and read that for an hour, flick through it, but I don't think I'm going to be able to take that but anyway, how lovely is that? Anyway, talking about books, thank you. So am I waffling on? What was I going to say? I don't know. Thank you for all of your lovely comments, which I will reply to all of them, about your favourite makes. The thing that really came through actually was that you love making things for other people. And I remember Amy actually, Little Tailoress, talking about how when she makes something, the book that she's reading, or even possibly something you're watching, is kind of woven into what you're making. And I can remember actually my first pair of socks, I was watching Agatha Christie at Christmas, and I've always, it's true, you do always think of that. But what was I waffling on about? I've completely lost my track. But anyway, you love making things for other people. It's also, so maybe, this is probably what I was going to say, when you're making something for someone, you're thinking about that person all the time, aren't you, often? So I think that makes things like that really special. And also I think it was the idea of, I can remember the first thing I ever sewed was a nightie that I made when I was in, I think it was called Home Economics, on a Wednesday afternoon. You could either do gardening, sewing, cooking, and I did sewing. And it was this idea that I could actually choose what it looked like and choose the fabric, the whole thing of just creating something fairly unique. And I don't buy many clothes anywhere, I've said this before. Are you doing second-hand September? That's something I was going to talk about. Second-hand September, which I talked about in my last vlog, or one before, which is where an Oxfam initiative where you attempt to not buy anything new in September, certainly clothes-wise, but I think that can be true of lots of things. And I've completely lost my track what I was talking about now, but just while I'm saying this, I thought, I'm going away, and I thought, oh, I must get myself a new swimming costume. And I thought, well, no, it's second-hand September, I can't. And then I thought, actually, I don't need a new swimming costume. Why am I even thinking that? I don't need it. You just get into this mindset of, oh, I'm going away. I need this and I need this. Completely lost my drift now. Can't remember what I was talking about. But also, that's another thing. I was just packing my things to go, and everything I've noticed, in fact, if I can find it, I'll pop it in and show you actually. Everything I'm packing is either a dusky pink or blue or grey. You don't realise that until you get your wardrobe out. Well, not your wardrobe, I don't have that many things. Yeah, that's fascinating. Anyway, completely lost my drift there. But yeah, making things for other people, making things for grandchildren. Somebody else said that she signs and dates things that quilts that she makes and things like that. Totally into quilting now, patchwork. So yeah, it was lovely reading all of those things, and the narrative in a way that goes into what you make, which I think was lovely. But anyway, I did a random number generator, and excuse me squinting. The winner is Dorothy Griffiths. So well done, Dorothy. She said she remembered making, her favourite thing was a little pink cardigan for her granddaughter, which I thought was like, again, someone making something else, something for someone else. So Dorothy, if you're watching this, how do I even go about this? Can you even send a message on YouTube? I don't know, but I'll put my email on the screen, or if you're on Instagram, you can private message me. Let me know your address and I'll get your prize off. But thank you to everybody who commented. It was just so lovely to read, and I'm going to, one of the things I'm going to do on holiday when I get there, just open my laptop and just reply to all of your comments. It was lovely. What have I got down here? Oh, also, yes, talking about making things, one of the first things, what I used to do, how I started sewing in the first place, I think like actually so many other people, I kind of thought I don't know, sometimes you feel like it's making dolls' clothes and things like that. Oh, I don't suppose everyone else did that, but actually so many of you did. And I've got a lovely friend, Nadine, who she's a prolific knitter. She's a fantastic knitter. Anyway, what I discovered about her the other day is that she's got a website called, now I call her Nadine, maybe your name, but I would say Nade's Knits, but I'll put that on the screen. Oh my goodness, she makes the most amazing clothes for dolls. Oh, that's a whole rabbit hole to go down. And actually, I have got a Barbie doll upstairs, and I just think to myself, oh, do you know, I'd love to do that. I used to spend ages doing that, just wrapping the fabric round and making it fit and then taking it off and stitching it. And I'm seeing her doing that, and she's actually using some of our yarns to do it, which is amazing. So yeah, go and have a look at her Instagram. Oh, she lives right by the sea. She lives in Scotland, and she's got a view of her knitting seat, she was saying to me. She goes right into the bay, where she's actually seen whales. Wales, not Wales, the country. Anyway, thought I would mention that because that's lovely. And I think that's it really, because I need to go on holiday. I literally woke up this morning and thought, right, let's get some stuff together. But I'm only going down to Cornwall for a week, so it's not exactly, it'll take me 2 hours to get there. Last thing. When I started this, I thought I would call it a vlog pod, you know, because it's a bit of this poddy bit at the beginning and then the vlog. And when I did the thing, I just thinking Vloggypod, and with 1G. When my son came home a couple of weeks ago, he said, what's a Vloggypod? And I said, what do you mean what's a Vloggypod? And he said, that's Vloggypod, it needs 2 Gs. And oh, I've just found this I was going to show you. I'll show you this in a second quickly. I think it should have 2 Gs, shouldn't it? It should be Vloggypod. I think it is Vloggypod. So let me know. Do you think it should be Vloggypod or Vloggypod? I think probably Vloggypod. Look, I just wanted to quick show you this. I've completely lost my drift today, so I don't know what I was going to say. But talking about making things, this was one of the first. Well, no, it's not one of the first things I made. I used to knit things for myself. In fact, the first thing I made, first thing that I crocheted, was I did a crocheted square. So, okay. My brother and my dad used to watch football, and I can remember them watching. There was a West Ham, and I had a bit of a crush on the West Ham goalkeeper. I can't remember his name now. But the West Ham colours are kind of really vivid, sort of, I don't know, I can't even describe the colours, but sort of mulberry and blue, quite vivid. I was quite insistent that I wanted to crochet myself, and it was like I just did all squares to make a sleeveless. The fashion then was sort of for longer waistcoats. That was the first thing I ever crocheted. Hideous, absolutely hideous, I should think. but anyway, but this, talking about making things, when I was talking about narrative, etc., this little cardigan, I made so many of these. I don't know if that's that focusing. Because this was for my eldest son. I mean, all my little boys wore these. I had loads of them. I used to sit and knit and knit and knit these. I found this design, this pattern that I could follow and do, and that was it. But it's lovely. It's only in acrylic. It's not particularly fabulous, but I found them all the other day, and I just remembered making those. Anyway, I'm waffling now. So anyway, there is a little vlog at the end. Thank you once again for entering the competition, and I would say I'm off on my hollybobs, but it annoys my son when I say that. So I'm going off on a little holiday we're going down to the Lizard in Cornwall, which is just pretty quiet, and walks and knitting. Yeah, looking forward to it. So thank you. Good morning. It is Tuesday morning, day after the bank holiday, which was really nice. So nice to have an extra day. And this has just arrived, Salvage. So this was a Salvage Magazine. This is a gift from my eldest son, the Christmas before last. He got me the subscription. Yeah, I love receiving this. I've just gone straight to this. Look, single thread, Tracy Chevalier's new novel. It's a lovely magazine. It's really scrummy, just lovely photography, interesting articles. Yeah, so that's nice. That started off my day nicely. So normally on a Tuesday, I'm not saying this, but because we had bank holiday and we were out actually for the day yesterday, today is my packaging day, so packing up all of your orders over the weekend. Thank you very much, and looking forward to packaging them up for you. Yeah, so I'm going to get on with that. So that is a lot of labels. So I've just printed all of those out and stitched them all and yeah, just about to start writing the thank you notelets and then get your parcels out to you. It is a rather wet Wednesday. Look at my girls. I mean, there might be some lads in there, but they're my girls. There's sunflower hearts, which they love. See, no, this is Monty now deciding they shouldn't be there. No, they're perfectly alright, and they're not taking any notice of you anyway, darling. No, you're not going out there. Finished everything, just need to do the packaging, and I'm having a little break and watching my lovely friend Cherie. This is the Ollie and Bella podcast. Actually, it's her summer vlogs. And you know what? It's the first time I have had to actually sit down and catch up on podcasts. So I'm really enjoying that. Some of you were asking where I keep all of my books. Do I keep them all together? That's the aim. At the moment, I've just got a few down here. So this is the shelf I was talking about. I'm going to do some bunting for. I didn't bother painting it because I'm covering it up. I'm also going to do some decoupage on this. Anyway, so I just thought I'd show you some of my books that are along here. Hello, Hermione. She's come down here with me now. So the bigger books. My treasured sewing books at the end there. So the bigger books I have got on the shelf, which I will show you. I've got about 3 shelves of those. But yeah, these are some of my bird and wildflower books, and this one here, this is one I told you about before, is next on my reading list. Seabirds Cry. Anyway, yeah, so that's where I keep some of them. I've also got some more here. This is all my the bits and pieces for the Wallflowers Minis Club, which is just about to go out. My favourite elephant. And thank you for letting me know what this was. This is called a Mind Your Business plant, apparently. Thank you, Sue and Gaynor. I knew you'd know. But, and Gaynor said water it from underneath, which I have been doing. But look, Gaynor, this is happening. I wonder actually, because this was in their sale, I wonder if that's why it was in the sale. But, and also, would it be better off outside? Anyway, it's okay. I mean, it is growing, but I'm not 100% sure that I think it looks terribly well. Anyway, thank you for letting me know what that was. Label's done. Catching up with lovely Jules now. See how far behind I am? It's lovely though, because you get lots of catching up. you ordered the August Wallflowers Minis Club, then this is what would have been sent out to you. Just that I show you, because often I can't show you because it's always secret squirrel. So these are the yarns, and it was very much about sort of faded beauty, the browning leaves, pinks and soft yellows and apricots. So they were the minis. That's 5 times 20 gram minis. That was a little progress keeper. And if you ordered the bag, that was actually the bags go out with different fabrics, but the lavender bag that came with the yarns was slightly different, but I can't show you because I've packed all of those now. But this is the one that came with this bag. So if you ordered a hand embroidered bag, they're all different, but it would have been something like this. That went out with a little organic rosehip tea bag, because hips and rose hips were mentioned in the little information sheet that we sent out with it. So I would show you that. But when I sort of say the information sheet, this is what I mean. It goes out every month with something that explains where we have got our inspiration from, and we talk about rose hips there, so that's why we thought of a tea bag. Was apt. Oh, and this poem, so lovely. So anyway, that's that, because quite a few people message me and say, what's the club? And I just assume that people know, and I shouldn't do that. It's ridiculous. So here we have Monty thinking he's a cow again. Literally getting stuck into that grunt. Monty! Monty! Yeah, let's leave that, shall we? Come on. Come on. One word from me, as you see. So it's a beautiful day. It's supposed to be, I think we're supposed to have some grizzly weather later, but absolutely lovely now. Just about to do some sewing. But I wanted your advice on these, because these are my succulents that I bought, which actually doing okay. Look. And this one, which has got a fancy new pot. But they're both still in their tiny pots that I bought them in. Is that how they should grow? Or has that bolted? And do I need to repot it? I don't know anything about them. Obviously, basically, this is a question for Gaynor, but if anyone else knows, what do I do? I have got a bigger pot that I can put them all in, a sort of great big pot that I could put 3 or 4 of them in, but I don't know what to do. I've got something like that I could put them in. But anyway, do tell. Good morning. So it is Tuesday, and I am actually getting lost in what I'm doing. So we're putting together the Autumn Treasures celebration box, which is a box of minis. It's lots of 10 gram minis and a skein at the end. And what we like to do is, for every colourway, we like to put in quotations and inspiring things. And I have been looking at my own books for them this time. This one I love. On this one, which I've shown you these before, A Year with Nature, which I just like to have a little bit of read of these every day, just little bits and pieces. Anyway, just found some lovely quotes, and just been and got this one upstairs. I actually forgot I had this in the bedroom. My mother-in-law gave me this. And oh, it's so lovely. Has she written in it? A second. Shame when people don't write in books. I don't think she did. Anyway, oh God, I've got really... This is Thomas Hardy. And Gordon Benningfield, which is actually, I got a book the other day with his illustrations in. Oh, that's absolutely, oh, and look. Little pressed flower. I'm always finding flowers in books. Oh, it's been lovely. So these are the lovely illustrations. So I got a bit carried away, but got a bit of a busy week because we're going away next week and we are putting together the Autumn Treasures celebration boxes. So certainly we're sending out those that are going to United States and anywhere outside of the UK basically. And while I'm nattering, I'll show you some more pictures and poems. And we're also sending out the sock club. So we've been doing the illustrations for the sock club. This is Christopher's artwork, not mine. And now actually I can probably film some of the bags and maybe show it at a later date. That's confusing me thinking about that.